There's a real legal storm brewing in the real estate world right now. So today, we're going to track 4 major cases that could seriously reshape how the entire industry works. We're talking everything from huge corporations all the way down to individual founders. Let's dive in. It really feels like the whole real estate industry is facing this tidal wave of legal trouble. You've got massive antitrust lawsuits, really bitter internal fights. The court dockets are just packed, and it signals a time of some major turmoil and, potentially some big changes ahead. So you got to ask, right? What are the key legal battles that are really shaping the industry as we speak? We're going to break down 4 very different cases to get a handle on what's actually going on behind the scenes. Okay, first up, a battle over the market itself. And this is a big one. We are talking about the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, taking on real estate giant Zillow. The battle lines here are drawn pretty clearly. On one side, you have the FTC and 5 states. And on the other, you've got Zillow and Redfin. And the core allegation, the heart of the whole thing, is that their partnership was basically an illegal conspiracy cooked up to crush the competition in the rental market. Well, things got heated in this case, and fast. After the FTC filed the complaint, Zillow pushed back hard on requests for documents from its top executives. But then, in a really sudden turn, just a week later, both sides came out and said they've worked out their disagreements. So it looks like the wheels of justice are starting to turn again. And they are definitely moving now. Just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, Zillow and Redfin have already handed over more than 500 documents, and according to the latest court filings, there's even more on the way. The discovery process is officially in full swing. So from a fight over the entire market, we're shifting to an internal war. Our next case takes us inside one of the country's major realtor associations, the San Diego Association of Realtors, also known as SDR. Man, this case has been an absolute whirlwind. It all kicked off with some really serious embezzlement allegations against the CEO at the time, Michael Mercurio. That led to him getting fired, which he then turned around and fought with his own wrongful termination lawsuit against SDR. And now, the very latest development, it looks like a settlement has been reached in his lawsuit. Now, the court filing uses this specific legal phrase, dismissed without prejudice. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that while the case is being dropped for now, Mercurio still has the right to file the exact same lawsuit again later on. It's a pretty common part of settlement agreements that, kind of leaves the door just a little bit ajar. But, and this is important, this story is far from over. Because while Mercurio's lawsuit against his old employer is settled, the original case, the one brought by the whistleblowers, is still very much alive and kicking. Their lawsuit against both SDAR and Mercurio is still marching toward a trial set for October of 2026. All right, next we're going to turn to a major brokerage, eXp Realty. They're facing a lawsuit with some extremely serious allegations of misconduct, raising some really tough questions about corporate responsibility. So, the plaintiff is a Florida agent named Anya Roberts, and she's filed this lawsuit against eXp Realty itself, its founder Glenn Sanford, and also a mega recruiter named Brent Gove. And the allegations here are incredibly serious. We're talking sexual assault, corporate negligence, and even retaliation. Now, there has been a really significant update on this one. A settlement has, in fact, been reached in this case. But, and this is a huge but, it's only with one of the defendants, Brent Gove, the agent who was specifically called out for retaliation. So what we're looking at is only a partial settlement. And you don't have to take my word for it. The court filing makes the situation crystal clear. In the judge's own words, the case is still pending against all the other defendants. So for XP Realty and its founder, this legal battle is far from over. Our final case is maybe the most personal one of all. It's about a trade organization suing the very person who founded it. This is the dispute between the LGBTQ+ Alliance and its former CEO, Ryan Wand. This conflict has really escalated. The first complaint was all about the misuse of the Alliance's contact list, but now they filed a new amended complaint that adds a major charge, defamation. They're alleging that Wand made false and derogatory statements that really hurt the organization's reputation. And the Alliance isn't just throwing that word around. They've put a price tag on the alleged damage. They are seeking at least $50,000 just for the defamation claim alone. So where do things stand now?
Well, the ball is officially in the founder's court. Ryan Wionda has 14 days from the filing date to give his official response to these new and very serious allegations.
Okay, we've just walked through 4 very different, pretty complex legal battles. So let's pull back for a second and ask the big question. What's the takeaway here? What does this all mean when you put it together?
When you look at all these cases together, a pretty clear pattern starts to emerge. These partial settlements, they're closing some chapters, but they are definitely not closing the whole book. Major lawsuits are still hanging over some key corporate players. And at the heart of it all is this central, unresolved question of accountability, both for individuals and for the companies themselves. So this pattern of putting out fires one by one with partial settlements while these bigger lawsuits just keep going, it raises a huge question. Is this going to lead to real systemic change in the real estate industry, or is it just a series of isolated problems being managed? The answer, whatever it is going to define the future of this business, and it's going to be written not just in courtrooms, but in every single boardroom and office in the country.